Hello and welcome to another video, and this isn't a trauma dumping video, but at the same time this one still might be depressing, and I apologise, because it's about the fact that there's just too much. There's too much of everything. There simply is, and I know a lot of us have already brought this up. I know a lot of people have discussed it. I know it is something that has been in the zeitgeist before, again and again and again, and I have truly accepted it. I accepted it a long time ago, but I think as we get older, we also accept things, or re-accept them in a different way, essentially. When we re-examine and look at things, I knew there was always going to be more video games than I would ever have time to play. On top of the fact that there was more books to read, more TV shows, more movies, more albums, and there's only enough time. Like, there's only so much time, there's only so many hours in the day, there's only so many years in life. Like, there's so many things that we want to get into that as a species we know fine well we will enjoy, but we just never get the time to. And September and October this year have taken a hold of some of the most fucking brutal video game release lineups in the history of video games. I have been struggling to actually play new things since pretty much finishing Resident Evil Requiem. Played the fuck out of it, loved it. It's one of my frontline Game of the Year contenders. Between that and Mina the Hollower, I own Pragmata, really want to get into it, really want to play it, just haven't felt up to it. Lego Batman, don't actually like the Lego games, but this one's supposed to be more like a Batman Arkham Asylum game. Really want to play it, just haven't got around to it. Bond, I did up to the tutorial thing, then Mina the Hollower came out. As soon as I beat Mina the Hollower, I figured I'd go back to Bond. No, I've ended up going back to Link Between Worlds, finishing that on the 3DS. I've been going back to playing other things on the 3DS. I've been getting a Vita and started the Uncharted game that I never got around to playing. I owned a Vita since day one. I owned Uncharted since day one. Never fucking got around to playing it. Just never got around to playing it. There's so many amazing games from my backlog. I have literally never played Wario Land 3 until this second right now. This is the first time I have ever booted this game up, because I played the ever-living shit out of Wario Land 1. I beat it multiple times, because that was at a time when I did have time to play games, and I just didn't have the games. This is the thing. This is the cruel part of life. If I could have had access to more games back then, I would have replayed some of these way less, but I played the fuck out of the first Wario Land. I loved it. I got Wario Land 2. I got up to a level as a kid. Just couldn't figure out the level. And I tried so many things. It is one of the only games that has ever truly fucking stumped me. And I turned it off and I just never went back to it. And now, as an adult, I have a strong feeling whatever stumped me, I'd be able to figure it out. And if not, I'd look at a fucking guide. Because that's the other thing. I was very stubborn about looking at guides. I wanted to beat everything myself. Not realising that I was depriving myself of some truly great games just because of one moment where something is so obtuse, or maybe something's a little buggy, which a lot of the time it turns out that, yeah, I was doing the right thing, but I was experiencing a bug. That has happened so many times with games, it's unbelievable. That's even happened when I'm replaying Zelda games that I know, like, backwards and forwards, you know, I know them in so much detail, and I still started to double guess, thinking, am I just doing this in the wrong order or something? So whatever it was that stumped me, I'd be able to get past it, and I'd be able to eventually play it, and then I'd get into maybe finishing Wario Land 2, and maybe really enjoying it, and then finally playing Wario Land 3, and I've heard amazing things about Wario Land 4. These are games I've had on my backlog since fucking childhood. Like, they've been on my backlog for more than 20 years now, like fucking Wario Land 2, finishing that, close to 25 years. There's games on the Super Nintendo I know fine well I wanted to play as a kid that I actually still have access to now as an adult, and I just haven't had the time to play them. And I know everyone knows this, and we all have to deem what we watch, what we do, what we consume, how we do it, and like, this is why so many people as well, especially like the ADHDers among us, like myself, do podcasts while playing games, or listening to music while playing games, so that we're actually doing more than one thing at once, because we have this sense of not doing enough with our time anyway. Like, there's so many other different things with time blindness and different mental health issues that I don't want to delve into here, because that's not this kind of video. I just mean to say, I'm actually now at the point, I've basically cut out almost all TV and movies. I already struggle to focus on TV and movies these days anyway, so now I only put on really, like, shows that I'm either already invested in, like Shawsy, which I absolutely love Shorzy, hockey fan obviously, so love Shorzy, loves Letterkenny. When it was on, I love Vince Gilligan's work, so I watched Pluribus this year. And I watched, again, hockey, Heated Rivals or Heated Rivalry. I can never remember if it's Rivals or Rivalry. But I watched those 3 shows all fucking year. I do movie days twice a year. Sometimes I throw in an extra one. Like, I'll try to watch movies around the holidays, because it just feels like a movie time for me, and I usually rewatch Lord of the Rings, but I try to do other things, seeing as I only watch movies very sparingly these days anyway. I try not to just always go for rewatches. I do Halloween and second Halloween. I'm romantic, so second Halloween is February 14th. Basically, a lot of people in my queer circles celebrate February 14th as a second Halloween. So I watch a bunch of horror movies on those 2 days, and I've watched those 3 shows, and I watch a couple of movies around the holidays, and that's about it. Like, I'll watch the odd movie if it's something that I've got, I don't even want to say a lot of interest in, because there are some people who might actually realise, also, you can be a zombie in this game. This is like Metal Slug. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's kind of cool. But yeah, I watched the Mario Galaxy movie. I didn't actually have any interest in it, but it's a video game movie. It's something that a lot of people in my circles were talking about, so I figured I should probably watch it. I still haven't got around to watching Mortal Kombat, but I actually have more interest in that. That's just how my brain works. I'm trying to get over this thing without turning into a zombie, because I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing, so I can climb that. There we go. But yeah, I still haven't got around to watching that. And what's the other movie? There's one, oh yeah. It's not actually out yet, but the next one, the next genuine video game movie that I'm no fine well I'm going to have interest in, I'm going to hate almost everything about it. I can almost guarantee that, but that's not why you watch movies like this. I'll be watching the Legend of Zelda movie. I don't know why I do these things to myself. I have no faith at all. If Nintendo had even made one good video game movie, because I don't know if Detective Pikachu technically counts as a Nintendo movie. It's one of those grey areas. If you're willing to count it as a Nintendo movie because Pokemon is still on Nintendo stuff, even though Game Freak is Game Freak, not Nintendo. Like, either way, there's that one. There's that one. It wasn't amazing or anything, but it was decent enough. It was watchable. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I've not really got any hopes or faith that the Zelda movie's actually not going to suck. But that's going to be one of the few things I watch. But yeah, all this to say, I've basically gave up TV and movies just to try to fit more games in. And more books. Like, that is actually very important to me as well. I realised I'd stopped reading again, and I really wasn't happy with the fact that how little I was reading. So I've made damn sure to make my morning, when I get up after I do chores or cardio, or, well, cardio is still a chore, I suppose, I will read, and I'll try to read a little bit before bed. Even if it's only one chapter each time, I'll still try to do it so I can get through it. But then the rest of the time, I'm trying to figure out what I'm playing, and when I'm playing, and how I'm playing, and there's no right way to maximise everything. I know fine well September and October is going to break me, and what I'm assuming is, once I finally do start playing some newer stuff, I'll be glad I've got Pragmata, and I'll be glad I've got Lego Batman, because I think I'm going to need to really pace myself and try to figure out what... I thought I'd already got the key. So I've got a key for the red chest, and this is just not the chest of the thing. Okay, right, fine. Either way, again, I truly haven't played this game, and this is probably not the best way to experience it for the first time. But yeah, when it finally starts... Hilarious. When it finally starts, I will eventually just go through it all. I know fine well that that's the mindset that I get, that's the way that I get into with games. I'll just eventually churn through it, which I know there's a lot of people who don't enjoy games that way, but thankfully I can. So I will just pick my battles and go, right, so I'm playing... I haven't looked at the dates to fully confirm, I just know some of these are September. It's like, I want to play Fire Emblem, I want to play Wolverine, I want to play Control. So Control's got to be more of a Souls-like, it seems, and more of a horror thing. Wolverine's just a straight-up action game, and Fire Emblem's a strategy game. So Fire Emblem will actually be not the game that I fully spend time in. I imagine I will, but I think it's going to be my go-between game. So I'm going to be playing Wolverine, and then swapping to Fire Emblem when I've done a bunch of chapters in Wolverine, so I've got a bit of a cleanse. Then when I finally finish Wolverine, I'll move on to Control. Like, I'm going to have to do it like that, and I'm no fine well having Lego Batman as a nice little cutesy, chill-out, kidsy platformer that's going to be funny, and that is going to be the perfect thing to have as a break between some of these fucking games. So eventually I will get through it all. Like, out of the things that I really, really, really want to play, except Crimson Desert, because I actually did a video on Crimson Desert. I was really enjoying a lot of it, and I've been waiting until they actually got around to fixing a lot of the stuff and making it more playable, and I've heard absolutely amazing things, but I've also heard by so many people, I've put 500 hours into this game already, and I'm like, I just can't. Like, the 500-hour games are the games that I truly don't know if I ever have one of those in me again. The last time that I managed to do one, it's Zelda, and it's always going to be Zelda. Zelda's going to be the only thing in the history of this fucking universe that will get me 500 hours into a game, I think, these days. Because there's just so many games that I want to play, and so many things. 500 hours of one video game, it's going to have to be something truly special to really fucking keep me. And I don't think Crimson Desert's that truly special. I was enjoying this and having fun with it, but now I don't want to say I'm regretting buying it, because even if I don't get around to ever playing it much, I'll be glad that I support the dev, because it seems like they're doing things right, and sometimes that is worth supporting even if you don't get around to playing it. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get 500 hours, because even if I completely stop doing YouTube as well, because now that I'm doing this also takes time out of my day, and I don't exactly get to play and like have fun or anything while I'm doing this. It's not, well, I'm having fun from actually making the video, but I'm not like playing to really experience the game. I'm not going to fucking start Control Resonant. Is it Resonant? Is that the tagline for the second one? Why am I feeling like that's wrong? Either way, I'm not going to start the sequel to Control and literally the moment I boot it up, start making a video about it. Because, no, I'm going to want to actually sit, play through it, really enjoy it, really, really fucking get to grips with it. And might end off playing through it a couple times, because this is the other thing as well. As much as there's not enough time to do the 500-hour game, if Control is the kind of 10-hour short game, like I expect it to be, 10 to 15 hours of, like, just perfect goodness, like a Resident Evil or something, I tend to play those multiple times when I get them, because then I know once I've put it down, I really have put it down, and the chances of me playing it again for a long time will be a long, long time away. Because, yeah, I still do replay games, as a lot of people do, but I am really, really trying at the moment, and this is part of the whole playing the 3DS and the Vita a lot. I'm really trying to go through a lot more of my backlog and trying to focus on the new stuff that I want to play and trying to get some balance that I've never had before, because I don't want to get to the point where I can't play certain games anymore. And I know that is coming. Like, age comes for all of us, and there's going to be game genres where I'm just eventually not going to be able to play them anymore. And I realise that, as depressing as it is, that on top of the time and everything, there's all of that to factor in. And I might need to make sure that I'm playing the games like my 3DS games now, while I can still see the screen well enough, because it's still difficult for me, but I can at least kind of see the screen enough, despite the size of it. Eventually, my eyesight's going to get to a point where that's not going to happen, and this is not just an age thing, it's I have an eye condition, and it sucks. It's called keratoconus, and it's nothing that will ever get better. It will only ever get worse. From pretty much everyone I've been told, it will only ever get worse. Now, that doesn't mean it'll get, like, drastically worse overnight or anything, but it's the sort of thing that it's going to only ever get worse. There's, like, maybe the way to say it is on a year-to-year basis, or something like that. Because it's not like every single day I wake up, you have lost 0.005% of your vision or something, you know? No. But eventually, I'm going to struggle to play games on the Vita and a 3DS, so that's kind of why I've been getting into the mindset of, I can play these now still, and I'm fancying playing them, and I'm having fun playing them, so this is a good use of my time. But I'm also still realising that every time I'm either playing a new 3DS game, or replaying a 3DS game, in the case of Link Between Worlds, I'm like, this is yet more time that could be going to Pragmata, and Lego Batman, and this is something that I've been battling with, and I'm winning the battle, because why would that pressure be there? Like, why is that pressure there? This is something that genuinely, why am I forcing myself to constantly think about those games? You know, like, I'll get to them when I get to them. Look at what I'm doing right now. There are games that I am finally playing. I'll get to them when I get to them. And that has given me such a freeing thing to make me realise that, yeah, I'd like to be in the zeitgeist with some of these things. But at this moment in time, Pragmata, that's not a zeitgeist I'm going to be amongst. Because it's a game about, like, a gamer dad type thing. And that's just, I'm not in any circles where I'm going to be able to talk about it's not gamer tag, gamer dad. It's not gamer dad. Try that all again. It's one of those games where it's the girl dad. That's what people were calling it. The genre is girl dad. Never going to be a parent. It's just not something there, so it's not something I'm ever going to relate to, so it's not a zeitgeist I'm going to be a part of. I don't know what I'm doing here. As you can probably tell, brain is frazzled trying to think of things, so I'm just, like, pushing buttons. But Lego Batman, I was never the Batman kid. I was the Spider-Man kid. I'm interested, obviously, in it, and I know enough about it, but that's also not a zeitgeist where I'm ever going to really be, you know what, I'm going to jump in and talk about Lego Batman with a bunch of people. But Fire Emblem, now that I'm really getting into Awakening, yeah, I definitely want to play that as soon as it comes out. Control, I'm huge into the Remedyverse. Yeah, I want to play that when it comes out. Wolverine, one of my all-time favourite heroes. Yeah, I want to play that when it comes out. So I am glad that I'm at least in this section now of my life where I'm able to play these backlog things and enjoy them. And even though there's still so many things coming out that I want to play, I've basically unlocked this with myself to suddenly realise. So yeah, you'll play them in 10 years' time, maybe? Oh my god, it's a Bun Bun. I didn't realise. It's adorable. I love it. I actually would buy that as a plushie so fucking fast. Anyway, yeah, that's totally took me out of my train of thought. I really am obsessed with Bun Rabbits. I am. So yeah, even if I never get around to playing Pragmata until 10 years' time, I don't find well it'll still work in 10 years' time. And chances are, by the time I burn through everything in September and I get back into this flow of playing the new stuff, I'll actually be able to get into Pragmata if it's only like a 12-hour game. It's the sort of thing that by December, when we do actually start to cool down again, because December and January tend to be lighter months, I'll probably have cleared most of the stuff I want to play. But I know fine well, Crimson Desert's just one of those games that's just too fucking big to ever clear, I think. So I just think that's now on the permanent backlog list. And again, maybe in 20 years' time, I'll finally be able to get around to playing it, because I'll still be able to play it on the PC, or be able to play a remastered version or something where they've really condensed it down. And with how games evolve, it might suddenly be, you know what, this has turned into one of the best campaigns ever, because the dev just kept working and working and working. And it would be cool to have that redemption story, and maybe then I'll play it. But yeah, if all of this video, all of this rambling has been to see it, if you are really fucking struggling with the fact that there's just so much to play in September and October, do remember that as much as there's FOMO and there's a lot of things out there, you'll get to it when you get to it. And I know part of the FOMO is the fact that dodging spoilers is such a fucking bastard. I've had so many games that are on my backlog that I will now probably never play, because by the time I got to them, the worst part is when you do finally start one, and that tends to be the week. It's just like suddenly that's the week where you manage to, after years of avoiding these spoilers, that's the one where you get the spoiler. That is rare, but it has happened to me, and it's like, oh, that is such a bastard. But yeah, until next time, I've been Sky Fellowship. And as I say, if there's anything that's just like on your backlog that you're worried about, try to remember you'll eventually get to it. And I know you probably won't. Like, try not to go too depressing here. You'll never play everything you've bought. I'll never play everything I've ever bought. It's just the way humanity is. It's with how much art that comes out. But also try to remember, if you didn't get to it, chances are there is a reason for it. It is very rare. And I know I'm now extending this video again, but it is very rare where I've actually went to a game and finally went to it and been like, oh, I wish I'd played this 20 years ago, because usually what happens is, even if I enjoy it, I'll be like, yeah, you know what, this was fine now, but I really wasn't missing something too special, because I do at least manage to hone in on the ones that truly are going to be special to me, because I think that's the other thing as well. I think a lot of people eventually figure it out, where you know what kind of games, and you do hone in on them. Yeah, there's going to be stuff that interests you, but the chances of you missing an absolute be-all, end-all, greatest game of all time thing, the chances of you discovering a game from 20 years ago that makes your top 5 games of all time now. I'm not saying it's impossible, because especially it depends on what your gaming knowledge is, depends on what games you grew up, you know, like if you've only just started getting into gaming, actually the chances are fucking astronomically through the roof that you'll find something that you've never played from 20 years ago that would make your list. But the chances of your average, I grew up through every generation of gaming, I played all of the hits at the time, I missed a couple of them, but I've managed to catch up on them. The chances of you finding that lost gem are actually slimming on, so hopefully that eases your mind. And you know that you'll eventually get to the backlog stuff, and the stuff that you don't get to, it's not worth sweating over, it really isn't. Right, now I'll finally finish the video, rambling over. Until next time, I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!